week 4 homework. Okay, it's pretty much a writing exercise, nothing really technical going into it. You can provide screenshots if you want, but it's not, you know, I'm not going to count off it if you don't. This is where you're going to put together your attack plan. Okay, this is your own little, you know, project plan. You've gone through the enumeration phases, a couple of steps in Lab 1. You're getting up to, I think, step 3 or 4. This will help you out with step 3 and putting your attack plan together. Your attack plan is nothing more than a listing of, okay, these are the vulnerabilities I found or could potentially be there from my Nmap scan, my OpenBOS scan, and these are the top 3 things I'm going to go for. These are the 3 low-hanging fruit of how I'm going to try to compromise this server. All right, and the tools that the tools and or techniques that I'm going to use. So, basically, give a list of those 3 potential vulnerabilities you're going to try to attack. All right, just quick bulleted list. A little bit of a description if you want to. Great. If not, that's okay too. Number 2, for each one of those, explain what tool you're going to use to try to exploit that vulnerability. Okay? All right? Whether it's going to be Metasploit, Armitage, third party, a web browser. All right? And then just a brief step-by-step, a high level. Okay? Going to go into Armitage. I'm going to do a scan. I'm going to find the the attack vectors, and I'm going to go over to the search bar. I'm going to search for MS09-050. I'm going to, go through that process and, hit exploit. See what happens. All right. At no time am I asking you to actually compromise the machine. This is your plan. Okay? All right. So go through each procedure and provide a screenshot. That's fine if you want to. That would be great. All right. That'll help you out in the lab. That's more particular to the lab itself. So the homework this week kind of helps you out with that piece of the lab. All right, because you can use the same screenshots. So that's kind of why I put that there. Repeat A, B, and C for your other 2 attack vectors. At no time do I expect you to compromise the machine. If you do, great. If you don't, it's okay. This is kind of an exercise more than anything else. Yeah.
So wait, you want us to plan how we're going to do this, then actually do it, but you don't want us to compromise the machine?
If you can, great. Okay? Because the plan is what I'm actually looking for in the homework. When you go through the steps to compromise, it kind of links in with the lab. You understand what I'm saying? So you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's when I was coming up with the homework for this week, it kind of merges together both the lab and the homework. At least that was my intended plan. Okay? So, all that said, all right, hopefully in the next week or so, couple of weeks, you can finish up Lab 1. Hopefully. Okay? Don't worry, it gets a little bit easier from here because as you're getting experience. So, let's look at Lab 2. Lab 2 is pretty much the same thing Lab 1 was, except your target's Linux.
Do you give us Metasploitable or do we have to download it?
You can download it, you can find it on GitHub, it's easy. I actually have a link for it, I think. So it's about 700, 800 meg. It's not very big. Actually, I think I have it on my drive. Okay. So. On. really shouldn't throw my hard drive.
It's not good. Yes.
Oh boy, so I'm gonna start downloading here then.
And I always wanted to make sure this thing was yeah. So.
Yeah, that's one of the magical sugar in there. I'm just gonna leave it tonight.
Yeah. But before you do that, make sure you increase the amount of RAM on your VM.
How much? 116 gigs.
Well, the VMX is 2 gig, so I gave it 4 and.
For Cali?
Yeah.
Oh, I have mine is like 4 gigs. 4 gigs.
Yeah.
I'm running 4.
And 2 processors.
Yeah. Okay. So just like what we did at Legal.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
once that happened, oh my gosh, the floodgates of heaven opened up.
It makes me feel so much happier.
What was there any other setting other than I know we were talking about this time.
There's a config file, and there's a config statement in there where you need to change it from a VMware 8.x to a 12.x. Because the 8 is only configured to run on a system box. And so it pretends not to know what to do with all the extra RAM you feed it, but once you up the compatibility to 12.x VMware. Well, I don't have something.
I have
Go ahead and do that.
So what do? You need to stop what you're doing, shut the box down. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. All right. So now, hopefully,
I've already done it.
there we go. So SourceForge, not Canvas. 873 megs. 174 megs, something like that.
Oh.
And I hope I'm not here all day.
Ah.
4 minutes, not bad.
What was it on?
Not nearly as fast Ethernet port as well. Alright. So anyway, as that's downloading, to implement it is pretty simple. You're just going to do a file open and say that you copied it, etc. You'll notice that the steps are vaguely similar to LAB1. Alright, you're just getting a different type of target. I make you go through a lot of the same steps. Why? Because learning by repetition is a good thing. Make sure they're both on the same network, so put them both in VMnet 1. Or honestly with the Metasploitable one, because it's, you know, not really, it's free and open out there. If you put them both on the NAT network, that's okay too. Not really worried about that. Do an OpenBOS scan, get that PDF, gain root access via the Unreal IRC backdoor. I'll show you where that is, how to get through that in Armitage, really easy. Find a web page, and we're going to start working with OWASP. OWASP is the Open Web, oh gosh, I'm going to look stupid. The Open Web assessment and scanning platform, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It's an open source tool that basically does kind of like what InMap does, but for web pages.
Can we use burp?
You can if you want to, but we're going to get to burp later on. Absolutely you can. I'm not going to stop. Run a brute force on, oh, I'm sorry. Do an InMap scan this time explicitly through Armor. Run a brute force password cracking utility against one of the ports. It could be the FTP port, it could be SSH port, it could be the Telnet port, it could be a lot of different things. All right, just try it. There's a lot of different brute force utilities you can use. Number 7 is the one that's hard. Okay, this is the one you're going to have to do a little bit of research on. This is the one that challenges everybody. All right, and that's gaining PHP MyAdmin access. All right, let me give you a little hint. SQL. SQL injection. All right, and you can get it. All right.
So was it a drug dealer or a gun runner?
Let's see. You can gain access via our login very simply. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. You, well, quite honestly, you can probably guess the password. You can, or you can try brute force against it as well. Samba is running as a service on the machine. You need to exploit Samba. All right. So everybody remembers the MS 09-050 against the Windows box. This is very similar, eerily similar, but on a Linux box. Same port, same protocol, essentially. This is why port 445, whoops, sorry, let that slip. This is why Samba in both Windows and Linux, is one thing that as a security professional on the defense side, you're always watching. You want to curtail that access all the time. And last but not least, we're going to write up a report. All right? Just like in LAB1, talk to me about the vulnerabilities you found. All right? How can you, at least 5 of them, how can you make it better? Don't make it better. All right? Don't patch Metasploitable. It's kind of a fruitless effort. All right. Oh, hey, we're done. Cool. All right. So once I've downloaded it, I'm just going to transfer it to my virtual machines folder and extract it. That'll take a minute or 2 or less. All right, so there it is. Keep some space. And go into VMware Workstation, file open. Machines, Metasploitable. All right. Now from here, you can see it's on the NAT network. That's fine. You can keep it there. You have to make sure that you put your Kali box on the NAT network too. Okay. Like I said, with this lab, you can be on NAT. That way you have access to the internet. Perfectly fine. Because, if you compromised Metasplittable, or somebody else compromises Metasplittable, guess what? It's already been compromised 50 million ways to Sunday, so it's no big deal. All right, so we're gonna power Metasplittable on. If you get this message, you're gonna say, I copied it. And you turn on your Kali box at the same time. Okay. All right. Whew. Here we go. Okie doke. Open up terminal. Let's find this thing. Let's find Metasplittable. So let's find out where we are. We're on the 225 network. Okay, same thing. You can probably just run a quick in-map or ZIN-map scan if we want to. Oh, hey, we have to do an in-map scan, don't we? Is that one of the things you're supposed to do? See, this is why it's good to read through the assignment. If you're working on a project, read through the scope before you get started. That way you can combine some of your actions together. So, okay, well if I gotta do an in-map scan through Armitage, and forget using ZIN-map, let's just get Armitage up and running here.
Why do you want us to use Armitage opposed to just using them?
Just another tool to use, get used to it, try something different. Should be the same result roughly. All right. While I'm here. Okay, and let's just crush the processor while we're at it. Start getting stuff set up. There we go. I'm starting Armitage. Starting Greenbone. Metasplit's gonna run in the background. All right. Greenbone's gonna start up here. Go. A lot of waiting. I was telling my 467 class, you know, in my 25 years, I probably have spent 12 of them waiting on, you know, progress bars.
In this field, observation, not
Right? All right. So I can just leave that guy there. It's no big deal. Or I can right-click, take the host, and remove it if I want to, but no big deal. I'm going to go ahead and go over to the hosts and do an in-map scan, and I can just do a quick ping scan of that 225 network. All right, just like that. Same thing I did previously in like LAB1, but with ZIN-map, I can do here. Ooh, looky there. Scan complete. Wow, fast. Wow, found a lot of stuff. Well, let's see here. I'm 129. I know that. How do I know that? Because when I did my if config, I said I'm 129. All right. So we then have 133 and 254. Well, 254 is going to be my machine, my part of my host stack. 133 though is a great candidate, so I'm just going to take these two out. I don't need them. And now I can scan this just from a right click. And that's going to do a standard intense in-map scan. So if you want to get this captured, that's good. That'll suffice for your lab for question number 5. Alright? But now that we know the IP address, okay, as that scan is going through, uh-oh. Oh, is it MSF scan? Oh, okay. I guess that is wrong. There we go. Let's do that. So, there we go. Now we have the in-map scanning will be better. So as that's going through, though, we can start setting up our target. So let's go over here and define another target. We'll call it metasplittable. So we're going to create a new target. Put its IP in there. Okay. Everything else we can kind of keep default. Then create. There we go. Metasplittable 2. Now let's go to tasks. And we'll create a new task. This time I'm not going to do the wizard. I'm just going to do it kind of. Different here. Select the right target. Make sure you select the right target. Okay. Scanner default, full and fast. That's fine for now. And create. Map complete here? Yeah. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. So now the scan's complete. Great. We know it's a Linux box. Woo! Alright, as did our task creation. So now we can go find our task. Hey, there's your task. We can go ahead and kick that off. Do that scan. Let's start running. It'll take, 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, hopefully not too terribly long. All right. So we are well on our way. Okay. So number 1, all you need to do is do a ping test. Show me that you found the target some way, some fashion. We're doing the OpenBOS scan right now. We did number 5. We did perform an MMAP scan. So I'm going to come back to number 3 in a minute. Find the web page being served for Metasploitable 2. So we know the IP address, right? 192.168.225.133. What are some ports that a web page may be hosted up on? 80, 443, 80, right? So let's just kind of shift gears here, and instead of trying to use one of these automated tools, let's use just a browser real quick. All right? And if you've done everything right, you can just use your own host computer. Let's see if we can hit that guy. Oh, heck yeah, we can hit that guy from our own host computer. So we don't have to get creative. We don't have to take additional resources out from Kali. We just bring up our own browser. Woohoo! Looky there. Oh, there's a web page. There's also links to other web pages. Huh. That's kind of cool. All right. We could also go back to our scan, as our scan is going through, our in-map scan, through Armitage. We can go back through here and look at, see what ports we found. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got there. Oh, port 80. Well, we found that. RPC bind. 53. Yeah. 2049. 2121. That's an unconventional port for FTP, isn't it? Hint, hint, hint. MySQL. That's good for number 7, by the way. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of good ones here. But let's just stick with Apache JServe. So we could try to bring up Apache Tomcat on 8180. Let's see what that is. How do we look at a specific port from a browser? Colon, and then the port number. Woo-hoo! All right. Let's go ahead and just look at this one here real quick. And let's just kind of hit OpenVAS with this. So OpenVAS you can find in applications, under Web Application Analysis, OWASP ZAP. And the first time you run it, you'll have a question of how you want to, a license agreement, a EULA. They'll pop up. Just accept that. Don't read it. Don't worry about it. Like everything else you come across on the internet, right?
Does anybody actually read those?
I'm sure there's somebody out there that does, because there's somebody that actually had to write them.
If there's money involved, you'll read them.
What's that?
If there's money involved, you'll read them.
Yeah, that's called lawyers.
Well, sometimes it's the first person to report this gets, X number.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Put in.
All right, so when you come, do you want to persist the ZAP session? You want to say, yes, I want to persist this session with name based on the current timestamp. So that first one right there at the top. All right, and then when she comes up, just go ahead and, no, I can't. So 192.168.225.3 colon 8180. There. Woo, looky there. And it'll go and go and go and go and go and go. And you can kind of keep track of it, kind of from the alerts. All right, so he's got a couple of mediums already. A lot of, oh wow, a lot of X-frame issues error disclosures. So I'm really just looking for you to kind of find something with this. There's also, you see on the current scans there, over here, the mediums, the lows, the highs, etc. Okay? So that'll go through and what we call spider, it'll crawl your entire directory structure, look at all the images you have, all the text, all the pages, everything. Okay? Everything. Now, this is really good for web developers to kind of look at how their web page is interacting with the web server that they have it set up on. Okay? And 9 times out of 10, typically, web developers are not going to really write bad code in their application. 9 times out of 10, I left myself some wiggle room. Okay? Where they run into problems is web developers does not equal web administrators. All right? So setting up Apache, setting up CIS, setting up Tomcat is way different than building and writing a web page, a web application. All right? And a lot of times, that application, the web server component, is where you run into a lot of vulnerability issues. Okay? And especially how the code on the back end, a web.config file in IIS, your web session file in Apache, how they're interacting between the web server and the web page and any outside call, any outside interaction, that's where you're going to run into problems. And things like OWASP Zap, and even better, which we'll learn in a couple weeks, Burp Suite, running as a proxy, running that through your own browser will help you find a lot of those vulnerabilities. Okay? Because that's a lot of information. Oh, we got a high. Oh, God, I gotta see this. Hold on. That's bad.
You weren't expecting that?
No, actually, I wasn't. I actually have not scanned 8180 here in a while. Path traversal. Woo! The path traversal technique allows an attacker access to files, directories, and commands that potentially reside outside the web document root directory. The attacker may be able to manipulate a URL such a way that the website will execute or reveal the contents of arbitrary files anywhere on the web server. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. All right, you kids can have fun with that one. Oh, and there's like 10 of them. Okay, good times, good times. Okay, so that kind of, I'm just looking that you capture this. If you want to use this as a potential attack vector, all the better. All right, last but not least, what I'm going to cover tonight, see how we're doing on our OpenVOS scan. It's requested, oh, I never, oh, no auto. Oh gosh, already 62% done. That's pretty quick. Alright. Well, one of the things it's going to tell you is that there is a specific vulnerability. So we've done our scan. Oh, we haven't done our find attacks. Attacks, find attacks. Let's take a look at this real quick. Then I'll run through. A what?
Isn't it going to give you like 1 million of those attacks?
Yeah, gotta start somewhere though. But it's going to basically correlate to what ports that are open and the operating system, etc.
Doesn't it have like every port possible open or something?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Right? You can go back into OpenBOS, and this is one thing I actually do like about OpenBOS is while the scan is going, was it 88%? You can actually dig into the report and find out what it's seen thus far on the device you're scanning or devices you're scanning. Okay. Again, I don't know why. This has got to be a bug in this version of OpenBOS. It's giving you zeros here. It should be giving you something at this point in time.
Maybe it's just not vulnerable.
No, that's not going to be the case. See? Yeah. So, screenshot here. Well, not here, but that previous screen. All right. Kind of finishing up at the same time. Let's go back. So it looks like we have a TWiki cross-site scripting command execution vulnerability. Woohoo! End of life detection for the OS. Check for Rex CD service, MySQL, MariaDB weak password. Ooh. Hint, hint for number 7. I don't know how many more breadcrumbs I can give you guys.
What's the answer?
Also PHP info. That's good for number 7 too. Okay? So, Unreal IRCD authentication spoofing vulnerability. This is only partially through, but there's actually a number 10 for Unreal IRC. It hasn't percolated up here yet. All right? This is kind of the easy way to attack this guy. So if you go to, there's IRC, Unreal IRC 3281 backdoor, first connection, make sure your IPs are right, look like it. Now notice I don't ask you to dump hashes or passwords with this. It's a little bit harder in Linux. It can be done. If you want to try, I'd like to give you bonus points, but I'm not.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, why not?
All right. You know what? Challenge accepted. All right, I tell you what, and you record me on this. I had to just help me remind to remind the other class. All right, because I don't have it on this lab. But if you can dump the hashes from the shadow file and crack them, I'll give you an extra 10 points. Okay? If you can dump them and crack them. Okay, now I gotta go see if it can be done.
On the Linux machine?
On this machine. Not the Windows machine, I've already showed you how to do that.
Well, you did say shadow. So.
I said the shadow file.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're saying that it was Linux.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't get to the shadow file on this,
Well, yeah, you can get to it because now that I cracked into it,
you have
here's your hint. There's your shell. Interact. Okay. CD, whack, etc.
Don't give it all away. You can't CD into a file.
Oh, that's right.
It should be a pseudo.
Cat.
Put a J in front.
Whatever JCat is. Means J.
Doesn't know what JCat is.
All right. Well, there you go then. Oh, shadow. I forgot. I've been working on our health systems all day. That's why. still there, PASSWD.
Are you meaning to type in JCat instead of just cat?
Huh?
Did you mean to type in JCat?
No, I was just trying to type in cat. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So there you go. There's us. There's, yeah.
We already know what the password should be, so it should be.
Huh?
I already know what the password should be, so it's not hard to crack.
Well, no. Show me that you cracked the hash.
Just show the word list of one.
Alright.
It's a wrong.
So that gets you probably through what? 50–60% of the lab.
I mean, I was gonna cook my steak that way, but okay.
Okay. So
Yes, that would work.
questions? Another fun weekend for y'all. For some of you.
We'll be in Australia on satellite internet and dial-up, so the
What?
internet's gonna break.
Any questions whatsoever? So kind of wash, rinse, repeat with this one, except it's in a Linux environment, not a Windows environment. Okay? You know, that's what's really weird, because Windows used to be so susceptible to attacks 8 years ago, and now Linux is so susceptible to attacks. So in another 8 years, I'll be glad when Windows is more susceptible to attacks. It's a cycle, man. It's the circle of life.
Apple holds down from that 16.
Man, people just don't hack Apple because
It's hard.
why bother?
It's just like a bunch of novels and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's nothing to find on an Apple.
PSD files,
Exactly.
some
Yeah.
Final Cut Pro
So I met the CTO for a major. Okay, so here's my lesson learned for the week, folks. I met the CTO from a major bank this week that came in and was reviewing our processes at work, and he comes up to my desk because the PC tech was out, and he introduces himself and everything else, and they said, "I'm having problems getting onto the wireless network." I'm like, "Okay, well, did you get the WPA, 2 password and everything else for the guest network?" He's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, don't tell me. Let me guess. You're running an Apple." He immediately gets his smirk on his face, like, "What's that supposed to mean?" I'm like, "Enough said." Yeah, I didn't make a friend that day.
Really?
All right, kids. See ya Tuesday. Remember, midterm opens up on Sunday night. Don't be the last one to take it.
When does it close?
The following Sunday night.
Okay.
I should say Sunday morning. Sunday night. Yes, sir.